Hey everybody, how are you? This is Fernan Jimenez, and once again, I'm talking to you from Pierre, South Dakota. Okay, so yeah, I had to take a little trip to go and get some more education in my field. I'm an eye doctor, optometry, so just getting some great stuff. And it's beautiful because it was a 10-hour drive, and it made me think of what I've been sharing with you. And I think it's finally time to start putting some of the ideas that I've been sharing with you together so that we could start really making it work for you, right? But first, we got to go through the fundamentals, okay? So what I want to talk about today, what I want to combine today so that it can make it feasible for you to start applying and using in your life today is two things. I talked about the law of attraction, right, which a lot of people call hokey, but really if you don't deal with these inner beliefs that you have that are limiting you, it's the fundamental stuff. It's like, you know, not understanding why you smell bad when you don't even shower, right? So in the law of attraction, this is what it goes. You know, usually you think, if you read it, you're like, okay, all I have to do is think positive, and then I'm going to attract positive things into my life, right? But the problem with the law of attraction, or not necessarily the problem with the law of attraction, but what a lot of people don't know, and this is the hardest thing about the law of attraction, is that it's also important what negative thoughts you have ruling, you know, the thought processes in your mind. What do I mean by that? Let's say you want to change your lifestyle. Let's say you want to start a new business. Let's say you want to do a different type of thing, right, to create money so you don't have to go to work and you can work from wherever you want to, right? So you're working on that, right? You're learning all those strategies. You're learning all those skills. But while you're at work, while something negative happens to you, something along the way, an obstacle comes to you, in your mind, the way you respond to it is, I hate the situation I'm in. I hate what I'm doing, this and that. And you're always thinking of these negative things. That is taking over the positive vibes you're sending out, right? So you're literally willing yourself to stay where you don't want to be. Okay, so that's a really important caveat, a really important aspect of the law of attraction, that if you don't know, you never understand why it never works for you. Okay, another thing that I have talked about is how to design your fears. Okay, how to design your fears. And what I meant by that was, basically, instead of just letting the world around you and circumstances around you define your fears, you actively, progressively pursue an activity, a skill, pursue something that's going to make you better, right? And in the process of pursuing that, there's always going to be, did it work, did it not work? So you always have that little bit of fear of like, oh, is this working or not? Versus you just waking up in the morning and whatever happens on your way to work, that's going to define your fear, right? And it's like living with the lights on or the lights off. Okay, so how do we combine them both? How do we make them both work for you? Okay, so this is what we're gonna do. First, you're gonna find something that you want to do, whether it be a charity you want to set up, whether it be a new skill you want to learn, whether it be you want to learn how to play guitar, whatever, right? Anything you want to do, okay? And you find the expert on that, and you start getting the skills, and you start getting the strategies, and you start learning that, right? And so that's the designing your fears, because now, whenever things go wrong, since you're in that path, it's good because you're still building. Remember, what's so beautiful about designing your fears is that whenever anything goes wrong, it teaches you. It teaches you how to get better. It points you even closer or in a better direction to where you want to go. When you don't design your fears, yes, you do have the possibility of learning. Like say, oh yes, today I left my house and I forgot to bring my umbrella and now it's raining. And so you had to park far away from work. And so now you're drenched and you're miserable. You showed up to work. Yeah, that teaches you that you should always look at the weather but it still keeps you in the same position. It still doesn't give you the chance to change your life, right? So once you have that down, that you've designed your fear, that you've chose what you want to do, now how do we mix that with the law of attraction? Well, when it comes to you got your project, you got the strategies, you got your thinking, you're creating, so your brain, you have all these possibilities, so that with anything that happens to you in your life, you could always, since you're on this new track, you could find a way to spin it, find a way to teach you about the track that you're on, rather than just like, poor me, oh my God, why does this always happen to me? So so how do we combine the law of attraction with designing your fears? Let's say you are you're driving, right? And all of a sudden you get pulled over, okay? And oh my God, you forgot that you hadn't paid your insurance, or when the officer pulls you over and you go to give him the card, he says, hey, this insurance is expired, right? And then so you start, you know, you're lucky he lets you go, right? He doesn't give you a ticket because, you know, for some reason, like, you guys kind of like had a good little conversation. He's like, you know what, just go get this resolved, it's all good. So now you're on your way, right? And guess what? This is what usually happens. This is how law of attraction works against you. You start driving, and since you're not designing your fears, you're thinking, oh my god, now I'm scared. Now every time you see a cop, you're gonna be scared. Now every time somebody cuts you off, you think that, oh my god, what if I get into an accident with the cops? And so you have this fear that's holding you from creating, right? If, however, you are designing your fears, like in my case right now, I'm learning how to write emails, right? And I'm learning how to, like, every day write an email to a list that I'm building, many lists that I'm building, okay? And so something like that were to happen to me, before I started doing this email list writing, I'd sit there and I would freak out without even knowing it. For the whole rest of the ride, I'd sit there and I'd trip out and think of all the possible things that could happen, and think of, oh my god, I don't have the money for that, or now I have to save up the money for that. And you know how it just starts to build, and you create this tension, right? But now that I'm writing the emails, and remember, this is an example because you can use it for anything, that happens to me, and I'm creating, I'm thinking, how do I spin this? How do I write an email? What is a good subject title? What is the way to rephrase it? And do you see how I'm still gonna have to write that email? I'm still gonna send it out. There's still gonna be a lot of people that are not gonna open it, and much less buy whatever I'm offering, right? But I am inside the path. I'm getting closer to where I want to go. The fear is not dominating. The fear, it's like if I was the captain of a ship, right? And what you do is, fear is like the wind. You know what I mean? You have no control of the wind. You have no control over fear because you're human. Things are going to come and they're going to scare you. What you do have control over is how you set that sail. Is how you respond to the fear, how you respond to the wind. And so by doing these two things, by applying the law of attraction, a little aspect that I shared with you today of not thinking of the negative things, and you know, and how do you do that? You fill your mind with thoughts that get you closer to where you want to go, basically designing your fears. I know it's a little crazy, I know it's a little deep, but hey, that's what we're all about, because you know what, if I can't teach it to you on how to make it happen, how to apply it in your life, then it's just confusing, okay? So, I love you all because I know you're going to get this stuff, and I know you're going to tear it up, and I know you're going to do well, okay? So remember, always, always keep growing, keep sharing, keep loving. Have a great day, everybody. Bye, bye.